Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Transformers TCG Deck Techs, where we dare to think outside the box and we have fun doing it. My name is Jimmy, and Wave 3 is finally here, guys, and I am really excited to start building decks with this set, primarily because of secret actions. I often felt that it would be really cool if we could interact with the opponent on their turn, and secret actions is going to allow us to do that. So naturally, I went ahead and started looking at the characters that worked with secret actions, and the first one that I looked at was Major Shockwave. You know, I'm a huge Shockwave fan, but after looking at his abilities, unfortunately, I just didn't think that that was the character that I wanted to use with secret actions. But thankfully, there's a couple of other characters in the set that work with secret actions, and the first one we're going to look at is Sergeant Skywarp. And, you know, he's my favorite seeker. Skywarp, Lazarus was, you know, the deck that got me started on everything. And it's only, you know, kind of natural that Skywarp would be in my first deck in Wave 3. But in his alt mode, he has an ability that says, when you flip to this mode, return up to 2 secret actions that have different names from your scrap pile to hand. So, you know, he actually kind of works kind of like Skywarp from Wave 2 in the way with secret actions, you're able to get them back from the scrap pile. Now, of course, you can't get 2 of the same secret action, but you can just get 1 secret action. If there's only 1 in your scrap pile, you can still use this ability because it says return up to 2 secret actions. And on his other side, he has an ability that says when you play a secret action, you draw a card. So this guy has great synergy with secret actions. So this is where I'm going to get started. And the second character that I saw that deals with secret actions is Raider Laserbeak. And he has Pierce 2 on his bot mode side, which is cool because he's got 2 attack. But he's got one of the new tap abilities. And his tap ability says, tap this, you may play a secret action. So, you know, if you have a secret action in your hand, you can tap Laserbeak and play it for free, basically. And that will trigger Sergeant Skywarp, so you'll be able to draw a card off of it as well. Now, when you flip to alt mode, he has no attack damage, which is fine because, you know, we're not really using this guy to attack with. He's probably, you know, just going to be used for utility. But he has an ability that says when you flip to this mode, draw a card, then scrap a card from your hand. So if you flip to this mode and you draw that card, you can go ahead and scrap a secret action, and it's not really that big of a deal because we can get them back with Sergeant Skywarp. Okay, so those are the 2 characters that I've selected from Wave 3 to use. And the last character is actually from Wave 2. And surprise, surprise, it's Skywarp. Now, it's actually kind of cool how secret actions work with this guy. And I actually asked Wizards of the Coast about it, and they put it in their rules roundup, and I'll explain that here in a second. But on the alt mode side, it says when you flip to this mode, return a card that has no battle icons from your scrap pile to hand. Now, the secret actions that we have all have icons, so that ability is not the one that we're actually looking for when we're using secret actions. The other side, however, says once per turn when you play or flip a battle card that has no battle icons, this gets +3 damage and +3 defense until end of turn. So the question that I asked Wizards was, if you play a secret action face down, is it considered playing a card with no icons? And in fact, it is. So when you play a secret action face down, it will trigger this ability. And I found that that was really awesome. Of course, you know, the Skywarp holds a special place with me, but that's where I came up with the name of the deck. The name of the deck is Schrodinger's Icon. And it's because the cards have icons, and at the same time, they don't have icons. So I thought that was pretty cool. But that is our team, and we'll start looking at the battle cards. And the first battle cards we're going to look at are the secret actions. And there's quite a few in this deck. And the first secret action we're going to look at is Battlefield Report. And with secret actions, what you do is you just play the action face down, and at any point that the reveal part of it triggers, you can reveal this card and get the when revealed portion of the card. And it was actually clarified today that even if this does trigger, you don't have to reveal it at that time. You can wait and see if there's going to be, a trigger later in the turn. Like when, you have multiple characters attacking into your last character or something, you could wait to reveal this card. But this says reveal when one of your characters defends. So when your opponent nominates, their attacker and selects the defender is when you can flip this. And it says when revealed, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Now this is card advantage, so being able to draw extra cards is really good. But this is also going to help us stack the top of our deck, especially when we're trying to defend with Skywarp from Wave 2. If we have a card in our hand that doesn't have icons, we can go ahead and put that card on top and use that to defend with and get the +3 defense off of his trigger. But because we're wanting to use plenty of secret actions, I put 3 copies of Battlefield Report in the deck. The next action, or secret action, is defensive formation. And the reveal on this is when one of your characters defends. So this is actually going to happen every turn that you play this. So when it's revealed, each of your characters gets +1 defense until end of turn. So this is going to help us out on defense, and it does have an orange icon, which is not going to help us on defense. But you'll actually be surprised how well this deck is going to play defense, even though it does have a lot of orange icons in it. It's actually kind of cool. I've played the deck a few times, and it's surprisingly defensive. But we'll go ahead and put 3 copies of defensive formation in the deck as well. And the next secret action is going to be hiding spot. And this reveal is a little bit different. It says after your opponent chooses an attacker and before they choose a defender, you reveal this. So, when they say I'm attacking with so-and-so, you say, okay, hold on a second, I have a secret action, and you reveal this. And when it's revealed, one of your characters gets stealth until end of turn. So, let's say you want to, keep somebody, from being knocked out. You can reveal this and say, hey, you can't attack that guy. Of course, provided that you have other tapped characters or, all of your characters are untapped. But even though this has a black icon, which will give our guys pierce when attacking, this card really helps dictate where the damage is going. So we went ahead and put 3 copies of Hiding Spot in the deck. And the last secret action that we're going to use is Bolster, and its reveal is also when one of your characters defends, and when revealed you may play an armor onto the defender. Now that is actually quite amazing with the armors that I'm using in this deck, because they actually trigger in a couple of ways. So you'll be able to actually use those triggers on your opponent's turn, which I thought was amazing. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of Bolster in the deck. So we have 12 secret actions in the deck. And of course, I haven't built a sideboard for this yet because we don't really know what the meta is going to be like yet. But there's other secret actions that are going to be going in the sideboard for specific matchups that are going to really help. But we do have ways to play multiple secret actions. And the first one we're going to look at is Special Ops Mission. And I believe this is actually the only card that has a white icon in the deck. But it's an action that says you may play a secret action, then you may play another secret action. So this is going to help us play multiple secret actions in a turn. So if you use Laserbeak, his tap ability, and you have 2 other secret actions in your hand on top of the one that you just played with Laserbeak, you're playing 3 secret actions. And also, if Skywarp from Wave 3 is in bot mode, you're going to be drawing 3 cards off of those secret actions. So being able to play multiple secret actions is awesome because they replace themselves with Sergeant Skywarp. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of Special Ops Mission in the deck. And the next one, which actually works the exact same way for secret actions, but it will also help us play multiple regular actions during the turn, is Brainstorm. And we're all familiar with this, I'm assuming, but in case you aren't, it says you may play an action, then you may play another action. Now, secret actions have been ruled that they are indeed an action, so you'll be able to use this with secret actions because they qualify. But of course, it doesn't work the other way around. You can't play regular actions with special ops mission because they are not secret actions. So, but we want to play as many secret actions as possible. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of Brainstorm in the deck. Okay, so we're actually going to backtrack a little bit, and we're going to go back to this card right here. Bolster is probably my favorite secret action in the deck because of the armors that I'm using in the deck. And I think you guys will think this is pretty cool. But when I saw this card, the first armor that I was looking at was Scrapper Gauntlets. And it's an armor that gives you +1 defense, and it reads, when you put this on a character, scrap an enemy weapon. If you can't, draw a card. So, let's say, the opponent's attacking into you with somebody that has a grenade launcher or an Energon Axe. That's a lot of damage that you don't want to take. So, you play, or you reveal Bolster, and you're able to play this on the character that they're attacking. So what will happen is you play this on your character, and this will trigger scrapping the weapon that they have on their character before they deal damage. I think that's awesome. So if they don't have a weapon and you have this in your hand with Bolster being revealed, go ahead and play it because you'll draw a card off of it too. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of Scrapper Gauntlets in the deck. And the other one is actually where like the real craziness happens. 2 of our characters are specialists. So I went ahead and put multi-mission gear in the deck. And it's an armor that gives you +1 defense. And it says when you put this on a specialist, you may play an action. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of multi-mission gear in the deck. And now I'm going to start showing you the different actions that we're going to use with multi-mission gear that we wouldn't normally be able to play on our opponent's turn that may give us some benefit. Okay, so the next set of actions, they can be used normally, but they're kind of cool to use in conjunction with multi-mission gear and being able to play these actions on the opponent's turn. And the first one we're going to look at is actually the star card of the deck. We had 23 stars worth of characters. So we could include 2 cards that had 1 star on it, or 1 card that had 2 stars on it. And I opted to put in Bolt of Lightning. And it has no icon, so it will be able to trigger Skywarp from Wave 2. And this is an action that says do 3 damage to an enemy. So, imagine your opponent attacking into one of your characters. You reveal Bolster and you play multi-mission gear on your character. And you play this out of your hand because you trigger multi-mission gear and your opponent's character was at 3 health remaining. So you'll actually be able to take out the opponent's character before they even have a chance to flip cards. But because we only have room for 2 star cards, we only put 2 copies of Bolt of Lightning in the deck. Now, the next card is also going to help us deal with opposing upgrades, and that is Vaporize. And this is an action that says scrap an enemy upgrade. So, if you play multi-mission gear, you can play this and you can scrap the enemy weapon that way. Or, if they have a utility that you don't want them to have, you can do that as well. And of course, we can take out armors on the opponent's turn, but that's not really going to help us in that situation. But it is an option if you want to do that. But I went ahead and just put 2 copies of Vaporize in the deck. The next card doesn't really help us too much on defense. But it has 2 blue icons, so I felt that it had a place, and that's Security Checkpoint. And this is an action that says each player reveals their hand and scraps all upgrades from it. So this is actually not too bad in our deck because we, for one, don't have too many upgrades, but some of the upgrades we're able to actually get back with our characters. But because this has 2 blue icons, I went ahead and put 3 copies of Security Checkpoint in the deck. The next card is basically just going to refill our hand, and it does very well at doing that. It's going to be Rollout, and it's got a blue and an orange icon, and this says flip each of your characters from bot mode to alt mode. So, you know, if you have all of your characters in bot mode and you flip them all to alt mode, you'll be able to retrieve 2 secret actions with Sergeant Skywarp. You'll be able to draw a card and scrap a card with Laserbeak. And if that card that you scrapped, you know, just happened to not have any icons on it, you can go retrieve that with Skywarp from Wave 2. So being able to trigger our guys in alt mode is really great in this deck. So I went ahead and put 3 copies of Rollout in the deck. And the last action in the deck is Reclaim. Now, I know that this may sound kind of weird, but let's say that Skywarp from Wave 2 is defending and you play multi-mission gear on him. If you have this in your hand, you can go ahead and play it, and then you can go grab an upgrade that doesn't have icons on it and put it on top of your deck. So that way, Skywarp will trigger his ability, provided, of course, he's in bot mode, but he'll trigger his ability and get +3 defense off of that one flip. So we went ahead and just put 2 copies of Reclaim in the deck because it really only interacts well with Skywarp from Wave 2. So, you know, that's really the only reason why it's in there. So those actions can be played on your opponent's turn. So that's going to be extremely cool if you can pull that off. Now, the last few cards are basically just, you know, weapons. We kind of want to do damage in this deck. But the first weapon that we're going to look at is Energon Axe. And, you know, this is a very popular card for a good reason. We put this on damage characters only, and it gives us Pierce 2 and +3 damage. So, you know, this is really going to help out our guys be able to push damage through. You know, our characters are going to be taking damage regardless of what we do. But it's actually kind of cool in this deck because of the way that the action works that gives our characters stealth. So if we want to be able to, you know, put this on a specific character that hasn't been dealt damage yet, there's a ways we can do that. But because we don't want to draw this too early, I just went ahead and put 2 copies of Energon Axe in the deck. And the last card in the deck I'm actually really excited about because we're going to be using it primarily with Skywarp from Wave 2, but this can obviously go on anybody that we want, and that's the W-5 Gyro Blaster. And this is a utility that says when the upgraded character battles, each player can't flip more than 2 battle cards during this battle. So, you know, we can have an Energon Axe and a W-5 Gyro Blaster on the same character. And when we're attacking in, they can only flip 2 cards, regardless of whether or not they have tough and regardless of whether or not they flip a white. So this is really going to be amazing in those situations. Also, you know, with this on that character, you know, if we're up against a deck that has a lot of bold in it, they won't be able to use that bold against the character that has this on it. And with the way that our deck plays defense, simply by, you know, revealing secret actions, we're going to have a lot of defense in this deck. So this card is going to be amazing. But because I wanted to keep the deck to 40 cards, and really because I only had 2 copies of this, I might add a third later, I went ahead and just put 2 copies of the W-5 Gyro Blaster. Okay, guys, so this is the first deck that I've come up with the Wave 3 cards. And I've actually been playing the deck quite a bit today. And it's super fun how this deck interacts with itself. You know, being able to play secret actions and then, you know, revealing the secret actions and drawing cards from the secret actions and, you know, getting super defensive with the secret actions and then drawing cards again. And then, you know, it's just awesome. So, but I hope you liked the deck. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about the deck, or if you want to talk about the deck in any way, feel free to email me. And just never forget, you can win if you dare. Take care now.